Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Promptly Speaking, where we bring you the stories of the movers and shakers of industry and their journey to success. I'm your host, Jack Madrid, and today our special guest is Geraldine Acuña-Sunshine, the CEO of Khan Academy, Philippines. Geraldine, welcome to Promptly Speaking.
Thanks, Jack. So happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we finally made it, and to have this, what I'm sure will be a very insightful conversation. So, Geraldine, I just learned that you actually were born and grew up in Roxas City.
Correct.
Now, can you take us back on your own learning journey?
Yeah. So my learning journey, I always loved school. Okay. I was kind of a nerd from the get-go. Really loved it. Read a lot on my own. When I was really little, I had the Encyclopedia Britannica. I remember when we had like all those encyclopedias. Yeah. I had this goal of starting from A. It was like a hard work to just go straight. This is how I spent my summers. To me, that was really fun and a challenge. But I always loved learning. I actually started here at Poveda. I went to Poveda for elementary school, and they had this individual work, piece just that allowed us to be creative and learn on our own in addition to being in class. So just love the setup. I owe a lot to the way that I studied and learned at Poveda that set me up for success going to the U.S. I did finish high school at a U.S. school, actually in Texas, and then went to Harvard College. So that's my trajectory. And then after that, I went to the Harvard Kennedy School for Public Policy, and then Columbia Law School.
Wow, that's quite the journey, Geraldine. Now, how did your early beginnings through all that, right, shape your worldview and this commitment to service that you have?
For me, it's always been important to give back because, it's great to be successful on your own and to do, have a great career in the private sector. I practiced law, corporate law for a long time with a specialization in alternative investments and derivatives. So, corporate law, practice in New York and then Boston. But, after a while, like as you go through your life, you do think about what is meaningful and purposeful to you. And I think for me, I was always drawn to come back again. I love learning, and I am Filipino, and I wanted to give back somehow. Life has a way of going in various directions. So instead of going straight into public service, I did go into the corporate world, but you learn skills there too. But at the end of the day, it's like, how can I give back and contribute to a country that I love and that I'm from? And so here I am in education.
So where did this urge to give back, where was that instilled?
Well, I do have family that has served here in public service. I am a descendant of President Roxas, and I think it came from that. But also just internally, like for myself, this desire I have this humanitarian streak. I can't help myself. I do want to help. Education is not the only place where I give back. I also have another health project where I do that for people who are suffering from a form of Parkinson's only found in the Philippines. But I think with respect to education, this is really where the greatest impact is happening right now.
So now, perfect segue. Can you tell us about your present role? You're now very, very well known to be at the helm of Khan Academy, Philippines. So how did that come about? What was that story? What inspired you to do all that you do?
So it really started from the first Filipino to serve on the Harvard governing boards. This is for the entire university, and I'm very proud of that. The overseers really help oversee the workings of the various Harvard schools. There are 13 Harvard schools, and we have, different schools in our portfolio. One of the things we do on the governing boards is to honor people who have made a difference in the world. And one of the people that we chose to honor one year was Sal Khan. And Khan is Sal is the founder of Khan Academy. And it is a global ed tech platform that is currently being used by 150 million people plus, mostly on the US curriculum on there. And my children introduced me to Khan Academy because they would say, "Hey, Mom, Dad, let's look." We were all really nerdy. Let's watch Khan Academy together, because they had these videos. We learned history together. We learned math. We loved watching these videos. The platform has advanced since then, since my kids were using it. But basically, we gave Sal Khan an honorary degree from Harvard. He is MIT undergrad, Harvard Business School. In addition to that, gave him an honorary degree. And I pulled him aside after that, and I said, "Sal, thank you so much for closing learning gaps in the U.S. But we could really use you in the Philippines, because we're going through our own education crisis where the English scores, math scores, science scores are not where we would want them to be, as evidenced by the 2018 and 2022 PISA tests of 15-year-olds. And what you've seen in terms of functional literacy and functional numeracy. This is really applied learning, problem solving, critical thinking. It's not where we want to be, especially if we want to compete in the global arena, with respect to jobs and just moving our country forward. So we needed an intervention. I thought Khan Academy could be an answer, maybe the answer. I don't want to be presumptuous, but we really needed some kind of ed tech intervention. And I asked Sal, maybe give us a chance, give the Philippines a try. And so he thought about it, and Philippines is the first international licensee of Khan Academy with localized curriculum, really focused on helping the Filipino learner. So,
well, congratulations on that success. Not a lot of people know that the Philippines is actually the first Khan Academy with a localized curriculum.
Yeah.
Now, lots of questions now are flashing in my head.
Yeah.
You've been at this, 12 months, barely? A little more?
A year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of impact very early on, has this had on the students and teachers in the underserved communities that you've spread Khan around?
Right. So we really wanted to help, especially in the public schools and under-resourced communities, right? Our mission is to provide a free, world-class education to anyone, anywhere. This is really the democratization of a quality education using tech. I always say that when you're addressing a big issue like education, it's like building a house, right? Like you need different tools in your toolkit. And, I consider us to be a power tool. You need the hammers and nails, and some of them might be grade A, some of them might not, might be grade C. But you need all these tools to build your house. And so I do consider us as a power tool, and we're free. So sayang naman if you don't use us, right? And so our first year, we did a pilot in 34 schools, and we didn't know what to expect, to be honest, right? We didn't know what to expect. But the students loved it. The teachers loved it. And we're like, wow, there's something really here. Because what I am realizing with the Filipino population is you just give a little bit, and there's so much of positive externality that can happen. Like Filipinos are so resourceful that it actually adds up to more than what's expected. So now we're in over 1,500 schools.
Are these all public schools?
Primarily public schools, though we are also offering to private schools because we're open to all forms of education. And believe it or not, there are private schools that are under-resourced. sometimes have fewer resources than public schools in certain areas of the country. So it's not just because you're a private school, you have more resources. That's not necessarily the case.
So 18 months in, you have taught 600,000 students?
More. So since we started, we have 2.7 million learners on the platform because anyone can learn. I mean, you can go onto your app store and download Khan Academy today, everyone watching, and you can learn anything. Like there are so many courses. We have 50 computer programming courses if you want to learn Python or learn about Gen AI, basics of Gen AI, you can do that. You can learn about personal finance. You can learn how to, manage your career. And you can even learn how to do film, like in Pixar in a Box. We have a class called Pixar in a Box. So there are many lessons. So we have 2.7 learners as of today that have taken advantage of this. It's growing exponentially. The 600 students that we are following are specific Khan Academy schools where the schools and our policymakers want to be able to track progress in skills mastery, right? So you want to see, hey, is this making a difference? Like, where are we? So those are the students that we are following, data-wise, to really give the teachers, the schools, our policymakers a chance to understand where we need to intervene.
So 2.7 million learners.
Yeah.
600,000 students that you are monitoring.
Correct.
What about the other constraint, which is the faculty and the teachers? Are they on the platform?
The faculty and the teacher, so as with any tool, we don't really, force anyone to come on. We basically offer this as an option and then we train. So we have trained thousands of teachers in the Philippines. And to date, Harvard did a study, and I think there were 600 teachers who responded, because 600 teachers who responded who said that using the platform has saved them at least like 3.2 hours per week, or like 51% of their admin can now be dispensed with because they're using the productivity tools.
I see.
On the platform. I have to say that December 10, we rolled out Conmigo AI for teachers for free. So if you're a teacher, you can log on and we can provide the training so that you can maximize usage of the platform to help you spend more time teaching, right? Doing the thing that you love, which is to teach and care for your students versus developing lesson plans. Lesson plans used to take many hours, 3 to 4 hours a week. And with the platform, you can do it in 2 minutes.
Let's go back, Geraldine, to the disappointing results in the past years of our PISA scores.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe describe how you have endeavored to address that, just so that our audience, gets a better picture of what are some of the metrics, the aggressive metrics that you're targeting.
So sure, I think our country knows that we did not do well on the 2018 and 2022 PISA test. This is a test administered to 15-year-olds across OECD countries or participants in this test. There are 80 plus countries on this test, and we were second to last above the Dominican Republic, which is really abominable and unnecessary for a country like the Philippines, right? So we offered, when Sec Sonny came on board and became secretary, he offered to help with the test. And I was able to get permission from the OECD to put past PISA tests on the platform. You can take them if you'd like. You can see what it's like. It's a lot of critical thinking and problem solving. Applied learning is what it is. It's not memorization based, right? So in English, math, and science, those are on our platform for students to practice. And we did help with a prep for that. It was a short prep because we only had 3 or 4 months before the test to deliver these practice tests. But, DepEd is fantastic. They really provide provided before the test. They provided the Wi-Fi needed, the devices needed, because some of the students in 2018 and 2022 had never touched a computer until the day of the test. So you're really set up to fail, right? But this was corrected this time around to really give our students a chance, because it's not fair to require students to take a test when they're not ready in the most basic way to even meet the logistics to take the test. Never mind the knowledge base. But if you're not even adept or knowing how to take a test on a device, you're not going to do well.
Wow, that's an understatement to say that that's a challenge. But what are the other challenges you're facing, Geraldine?
There's nothing that we can't do here. Okay? I just wanna, because as Filipinos, sometimes we say, kasi ganyan wala na tayong magawa, or ang hirap nito, ang hirap ganyan. One thing that we did is just do it. Let's not complain. If you have a solution, try it. Do a pilot, right? This is the future. Just iterate. Just try it. That's what innovation is all about. So that's what we did with 34 schools. Actually, we thought there would be fewer schools. But then DepEd was like, why don't you try these other schools too? So sige, and we cannot force ourselves in. There are some schools that are not into tech or don't want to try tech. It's fine. We're going to go where the administrators are open-minded, that want to try, that want to innovate, that want to provide, a solution for their students. That's where we're going to go. The challenge right now, quote unquote, is connectivity and device. Okay. But we don't really have a device problem. Everyone's on a smartphone in this country. And our app is you are able to download our app or connect to our app on any device, including your smartphone. You can learn on your smartphone. The nice thing about having a tablet and having a laptop is you can manipulate more. Like if you're doing geometry, you can touch the screen and play with the shapes. There's more you can do on a bigger device. And I have to thank you, Jack, because there are so many members of IBPAP that have contributed devices for this. They've donated to DepEd. These are things we can use. The problem is, in the past, people were not so engaged because there was no content. And now we have content, right? It's not like during COVID where, people were on Zoom and you're really basically doing a standard classroom on Zoom. This is not that. This is learning on a platform as a tool whether you're in the class or outside the class. I just want to say, for example, we have a partnership with Smart, right? Smart rolled out Power 99, where if you put in a little bit of load, it's unlimited use of Khan Academy. You can study as much as you want on the platform and it won't eat into your minutes. You can be a teacher and be on Khan Academy and it won't eat on your minutes. So this is the kind of help that we're getting. It's all bayanihan. We all need to do a little bit together and we can accomplish anything. I'm telling you anything, because we're such a smart people, resourceful people. We have the resources. It's just organizing things to get it done. And I think what I've seen in the year and a half at Khan Academy, we can do it.
Well, I can't help but be inspired, Geraldine, by your fighting, can-do attitude combined with that bayanihan spirit. Now, and thank you also for acknowledging IBPAP's PC and laptop donation program with Sec Sunny. He's such a staunch champion, helping to reduce all the red tape that we used to encounter.
Absolutely. And also the tax incentives that are now being offered to corporations to donate, assistance to schools. I'm telling you, we can do this talaga. We can close the learning gaps because we have all the elements necessary and needed to do it.
Your energy is really so infectious. But I wanted to ask you, Geraldine, how do you rally everyone that you do, and what message you want to impart to others so we can
Yeah.
all be part of this campaign?
I think my intentions are pure. I think they're pure and they're authentic. And people who meet me can feel the true mission here, which is to elevate education in the Philippines. I'm not selling a product. We are a nonprofit for a reason, right? Like Sal could have been a gazillionaire by now because his product is insane. It's like amazing, okay? But the reason why I was drawn to him, the reason I was drawn to him is because the mission is to provide a free world-class education to everyone, anywhere. And so I said, Sal, let's show the power of tech. Let's show the power of this in transforming education. And by the way, I just want to share this out there because it's really important. Our Conmigo AI product is safe. Okay. You hear a lot of things about AI these days.
Yeah.
But our platform is safe. Why? Because we know that we are gearing this towards students and kids. So these are the qualities that make it different from ChatGPT or whatever, right? It doesn't hallucinate. There are guardrails. This AI does not hallucinate. It never gives the answer. So if you're a student on there, say, give me the answer, it will not do that. It will redirect you back and it's like a cheerleader. It will use Socratic method to get you to come up with the answer yourself. Okay, so that's the second. Third, when this is used in school and the student is inputting something inappropriate into the chatbot, it will shut down. Okay, and it will send the entire chat to the teacher. So these are the guardrails needed if you're going to use AI in education.
I'm glad you brought up technology and AI, because my next question is, what kinds of new skills will our students need to be more future ready for the jobs of the future?
We did not anticipate how AI would change the world. I mean, when we started this 2-ish years ago, when we were bringing it here, we haven't implemented for the whole 2 years, but when we were bringing it here, wala pang AI, like not in the way that it has blown up, right? So we don't really know how fast things can change in the world. This was really quick. The key here is problem solving. I think the main skill that we need to teach our students and the workforce is how to think on your feet. It is critical thinking. It is problem solving. It is trying to figure out, okay, so this new element has come in. How do we deal with this, right? And look at risks or look at challenges as opportunities, right? How do we now pivot? It's all about trying to pivot because the world is moving fast, and with tech, it's going to move faster, right? So you want to have facility with tech. You don't want to be scared. Like some people are scared because it mostly comes from not understanding it or not knowing. Please understand that tech is a tool. Okay? It's a tool. So we are in charge here as a human beings and the creators. We can use this to our advantage. We also need to understand, because it's a tool, some of the other aspects of how a tool is used that may not be so great. But then how do we pivot from that? At the end of the day, to be globally competitive, the basic here is for Filipino students and our population to understand how to use tech tools to our advantage. Okay.
So man with machine.
Absolutely. But, we are still in charge, and it should stay that way.
Well, thank you for that reassurance. Certainly our industry is often asked about the disruption that many people in the economy believe will happen, but that importance of that human connection and the importance of decision, nuance and judgment will always be important. Now, in that vein, Geraldine, I wanted to ask, what advice would you give educators who might still feel overwhelmed by this accelerated pace, of digital and how it's transforming education?
I would suggest as educators is to educate yourself. So this is how we can help. If you reach out to us, like if you're an educator here in the Philippines, you want to learn more about this because we're so easy to talk to. We can make this, it's so user friendly, and we can explain the different options of using a platform like Khan Academy in your school. You're not mandated to like use it a certain way or whatnot, but understand it as a tool and how it can help you with productivity and your goals and closing learning gaps. That's something we can help you with. So, feel free to reach out to us and go on our website, khanacademyphilippines.org, and we'll help you. We're here to help. That's our mission. Our mission is to really help elevate educators and learners with your needs in the education space.
So with Khan Academy now in the Philippines, Geraldine, what is the medium of instruction? Is it only English or also in Tagalog?
So we primarily provide the classes in English, but the Conmigo AI, the student tutor, can teach in all the major Filipino languages. So it can teach in Tagalog, Ilocano, Cebuano, Waray, Hiligaynon. And those are the ones we've tested. So there may be others, but for teachers, if they want to contextualize their teaching in certain languages and dialects, they can do that. And for the student, because sometimes students need to hear a lesson differently, right? Like if you hear it in English, if you still don't get it, you can ask in Tagalog or in any of those major languages. It can even do Taglish. It will teach you math, science, and any of the classes on the platform in those languages.
Fantastic
So
stuff.
it's really helpful.
Okay. At this part of the show, Geraldine, it's actually one of my favorite parts of this podcast is when I ask you some questions.
Okay.
That I don't want you to think too hard.
Okay.
And just say the first thing that comes into your mind.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
This is going to be very fast. Okay? So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay? I know you are. So what's the first thing you do when you start your day?
I meditate because I think it's really important to ground yourself. This is what I remind myself, which is my mission in this life and my purpose right now, which is to elevate Philippine education. And I think that grounding and remembering as when you start your day is really, really important for all of us because the world's noisy, right? So it's good to know your why.
What Khan Academy course would you recommend to anyone, regardless of age?
Oh, that's really tough because there's so many courses. Well, this is kind of a fun course. Try Pixar in a Box just because it's different.
I'm going to do that. How about what would you want to take?
I would want to take a class that's actually not on there yet.
Okay.
I would like to put a class on that has to that shares a bit about Philippine culture and history. And it's not on there yet, but I would like to develop that and share that because I want this platform to have Tatak Filipino. That's how we can really show that it's different. The first licensee, and I want to showcase who we are as a country and as a beautiful people.
I know you're going to make that happen.
Okay.
What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote is Teddy Roosevelt. Do what you can with what you have wherever you are.
Oh, wonderful. If you could have dinner with a historical figure, who would it be?
Jose Rizal.
Oh, really Filipino.
Yeah, I love it.
One piece of technology that you can't live without.
Well, I hate to say this right now, but it is the smartphone because I think it really is a productivity tool for all of us. And it's just really helpful and connects us with each other in the world.
What is your favorite way to relax after all the long days you have?
I love hanging out with my kids. And
They're so lucky.
Yeah.
What's a skill that you're presently learning or want to learn?
Okay, this is like not a tech thing, but when I was a kid, I used to play the guitar a lot, like classical guitar, and I kind of want to go back to that. Yes,
What is one myth about education that you want people to stop believing?
I want people here to stop thinking that we are limited and that we can't do, that we can't make big change because we can. I think that's a myth in the Filipino mind. Sometimes we really underestimate ourselves and what we're capable of doing. We are capable of doing a lot. I would like us to stop complaining and start doing.
I am with you there. Stop complaining. Favorite movie?
Cinema Paradiso.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, because it's really a story of a man looking back on his life and maybe having some regrets. And I don't want to have that, right? You want to live in the moment. You take advantage. This is something I have to say. One of a friend of mine said, we only have so many breaths in this life.
Oh,
How are you going to use your breaths?
wow.
This breath. That's how you know it's important doing.
Okay. Now, what is one piece of Filipino culture that you are most proud of?
I don't know if it's one. We are such a talented people. And I want to share this because you're talking about Philippine culture. But basically, I have this other project where I bring Filipino American students to the Philippines. We have our own separate curriculum. It's called Philippine Living Heritage Initiative. You have to apply because we only have so many slots. It's like 30 kids max. But my whole goal here, there are so many Filipino American kids or Filipinos in the diaspora who don't know who they are. Okay? And what we have done, they were in our third year, bringing kids here. We have a curriculum. We teach Philippine history, Phil-Am history, cross-cultural competence, and leadership. And we take them to Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao to experience the beauty and diversity of Filipino culture and arts and history. Because if you're gonna be a leader, you should know where you come from and who you are.
Wow.
And we have a lot of Filipinos in the diaspora. And I have to say, and now these kids are like in Ivy League schools. They're really like top of their game. And I want them to be proud of who they are and go forth as Filipino leaders in the diaspora, grounded in their identity as Filipinos.
Wow, that's a very worthwhile dream indeed. So Geraldine, what is next for you? And what do you see yourself focusing your energy on? After Khan.
Yeah, we just started Khan, huh? So I think there's a lot that we can do. Tech is evolving. And even Khan Academy is not static. Every quarter, my team gets upgraded and upskilled. This platform is evolving. It's not going to look the same next year. So I just want to get the Filipino learner in this country. I want us to get to a place where we are proud and we can really showcase our talents and our intelligence in a massive way. Be globally competitive, be happy, have a great economy because our people are skilled for the future. I think that would make me so happy. So the present and future for me are kind of integrated together right now because actually the future doesn't exist. We only have now. We only have now. We only have today. So I want to be fully present in my mission to help the Filipino learner and educators the best way I can.
That's such a well articulated, statement of your personal mission in the world, Geraldine. So as we wrap up this, really energetic yet insightful conversation, I want to ask you, when you look ahead, how do you see the dual work that you do, in education and philanthropy, shaping the future of learning and care in our country?
I really believe in bayanihan. And that may be all of us in the Philippines, but also other people in the world. There's so many people who care. There are so many people who are actually learning from the Philippine experience right now. what we are doing in Khan Academy Philippines is an inspiration to Khan Academy US, believe it or not, and other countries who are now seeking to also implement this kind of model in their countries. So we are an inspiration for them. And really, what else is there in the world to do than spread good work? That's it. That's it. And that would make a meaningful, purposeful life. And that is all that I could ask for. And it makes us feel good also to do good work. Right, Jack?
Absolutely. And it can't get any bigger than that, Geraldine. I really want to thank you.
Thank you.
For taking time out to have this conversation with me on Promptly Speaking. And but most of all, thank you for everything that you do, as a Filipino for our country, and the IT/BPM industry is a very big part of that. But I have no doubt that what you're doing will have such a meaningful impact.
Thank you.
To the life and work of all of us here. Now, as a parting shot, because we have listeners from the industry and from the government, hopefully, what other support will you need in the years ahead?
I mean, we still have so many teachers to train, so many schools to go into. As I said, we can make things happen, but we need infra. For sure. So connectivity, devices, to the extent schools are needing devices, we'd like to go to last mile schools. So solar capacity, to meet the electrical, needs in those last mile schools would be really helpful. Anything that you can do to help, we are here to support. We can do this together. So connect with us at khanacademyphilippines.org. And big thanks again to IBPAP and to the BPO community for your support. We are so grateful and we are so blessed. We feel so blessed.
Thank you so much, Geraldine. That was such an enlightening conversation. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jack. Maraming salamat.
Geraldine Acuña-Sunshine. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Promptly Speaking. I hope you enjoyed our episode today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
That's information technology and business process management. We are coders and programmers, agile animators, illustrators, auditors, analysts, from consultants to managers, nurturing nurses and doctors, data developers and testers, VA smiling CXRs and artificial intelligence engineers. Oh, there's more. We are problem solvers and number crunchers. We speak in several languages, including Java, Python, Python, and so on. And on and on and on. We create heroes and villains. We gain experience and level up in life.
We are the IT/BPM industry working with the Philippines. Join us.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow and subscribe to IBPAP on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. Stay tuned for the next episode on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
IBPAP.